spot. I'm like, oh, we're live. Oh my goodness. Hey everybody. Welcome to the Artistic Biker Live. Once again, it's Thursday night. And on Thursday nights, I like to do a little thing where I just art with my besties. Hey Claudia. And there's my dad and my mom. Claudia's in the Netherlands. Yeah, I'm just going to turn the page and get started. We're going to do what has happened there. Why did my camera go blank? How weird. Hang on a minute. I'm going to run through these real quick and make sure they all work. How weird. Something is not right with that camera. Why would that camera not work on this night? Let's see what happens. Let's switch it to a different camera and let's switch it back. There we go. That fixed that. Let's make sure the other one's working. I think we're good now. Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties. Hi, Ivy. Hi, Pamela. Woohoo! Had a couple of technical difficulties, but I think we got it worked out. I think so. I've had some camera shifts. You know what happened? I installed more RAM on my computer. I had to take everything down and install some RAM on the computer. And let me tell you, I don't know if you've bought RAM lately or if you pay attention to those sort of things, but RAM is ridiculously priced. I don't know, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, you could get 32 gig of RAM for $50, $80. And now 32 gig of RAM is $500. It is whack, and it's because the data centers that they're building they're buying up all the RAM for the data centers. And Texas is putting in some 900 data centers. Oklahoma's putting in another 200 data centers, and they're just putting them up all over the country to keep up with the AI and to keep up with the cloud computing that everybody's doing these days, and the cloud storage. And so RAM is ridiculously expensive right now. But I kept running into errors that were specifically because I didn't have enough RAM. And so I bit the bullet and bought some RAM. But I had to take everything apart. And when I put everything back together, some of my cameras are off kilter. Like the vertical camera won't, and it's like it keeps changing. It won't line up with where I'm. It won't line up with where I'm filming, and that is irritating to me. I'm going to make everybody sick while I figure this out.
Bobby says Roly ponies are creepy creatures.
They're not creepy.
Not the little ones.
They're not creepy creatures.
Not the little ones. I told said the little ones will keep children entertained for hours.
Hours. They'll keep children entertained for hours. I need to go back to that camera for just a minute so that I can see. I want to make sure that we're lined up there. That's much better. Okay, good. Hours. You can keep little kids sitting there for hours. You give them a big piece of grass to poke at them with, and they'll roll up into a ball. The roly polies will roll up into a ball. And then you leave them alone and A few minutes later, they'll unroll. We're not going to start with the Roly Poly. We're going to start with the deep sea isopod because that's what I think is cool. What happened there? My camera just went, my whole screen just went black. All right. We're going to start with the deep sea isopod. Oh my goodness. Eventually we'll get it settled in. Did you see all the ones, Claudia, though? Did you see the ones with all the different colors? Some of them are really pretty. When I looked for random objects for the Random Object Randomogrifier, I found a model maker that makes them the way Safari makes them. And I reached out to them and I said, hey, do you label them so that we can tell what species they are? Because, you know, this is what I do on my show and I like to talk about the species and all that other stuff. And they said, no, we don't, but that's a really good idea. And I said, you don't really understand. If you were to add a label, you could, speaking of the species, that talked about the species, you could easily create collections with posters and say, and look for these other collections as well with these other species. And I know I would buy them. I'm not sure who else would buy them, but I know I would buy them. But if you can identify the species, this is me and them talking, and me and them, I don't know their gender. This was me talking to them in Instagram. I said, I know that if I buy them, as long as you can identify the species to me, we'll be golden. So I'll probably have to hit you up if there's not a chart included. I'll probably have to hit you up for the species information. And so they agreed. They think that's a fantastic idea, and hopefully they'll consider doing that. I love that Safari does it. The Safari only does so many things, and Safari does a lot of things. They can't really be expected to do all of the weird and wacky things that we like. But they certainly do a lot of the weird and wacky things that we like, huh? So in my travels, I found that company, and so I'm going to have, in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to have a set of Isopod models, and I'll just have.
Hey, Jamie.
Hey, Jamie.
Says those are good ideas. They should give you one of every collection.
You know, when I come up with ideas like that, it never occurs to me that I should market the idea. It only ever occurs to me that I should share the idea, and then hopefully when I do stuff, they'll share me with their followers. You know, Safari follows me on Instagram, and whenever I post something of a Safari model, they share it on their reels. So they don't pay me yet. Give me a call, Safari. They don't pay me yet, but they do follow me and share my works on Instagram. And the first time it happened, I was just giddy to think that, you know, in my mind, Safari's this really big company. It's probably two guys with a 3D printer. But in my mind, Safari's this really big company. There was an 80s movie called the Last Dragon. And he's looking for the wisdom from some dumb guy. And it turns out that some dumb guy is six guys. There are three guys that run a fortune cookie company. And that's probably what Safari is. Safari is probably just a couple of guys with a 3D printer, and I'm enamored with their product. I have no way of knowing. But I was really happy the very first time I saw they shared my post and tagged me. I don't know that it worked out into new followers or if it did anything other than just boost my ego, but it made me feel really good. But hopefully someday they'll think I'm a valuable spokesperson and want to pay me. That would be really cool. So Safari, if you're watching, call me.
Side note.
Yeah.
It says Safari Limited was founded in 1982 by a German-born husband and wife, Bernard and Rosemarie Rubel.
Okay.
Their goal was to aid in wildlife conservation by raising awareness of endangered species.
Well, they should really love my show then.
Yeah.
Well, I talk about endangered species all the time.
Right.
And usually using Safari models as the catalyst. Anyway, how's everybody doing today? This has been a weird Thursday for me. It's the last day of the month, so the day job has been really hectic. But I mean, it didn't really affect me. The day job, the day job being hectic. I'm like a little goldfish in a bowl at work. I'm not in charge of anything. I don't have to make decisions. I don't have to do anything like that. So it doesn't really affect me, but there's a lot of tension. So hopefully everybody's had a really great day.
Today's better than yesterday.
What happened yesterday when you didn't feel well?
Yeah, yes, I had a barometric headache and I was in bed.
Oh no.
I hate those. I mean, I had to call in the recruits to pick up my youngest Uber rider.
Oh no.
It really upset her, you know.
Why is that?
It didn't.
Oh, I see. That was sarcasm. Oh, okay. I don't have much experience with sarcasm. You'll have to forgive me.
I know you don't. You're out of practice. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, it's like a foreign language to me. I mean, I just don't.
Right.
I just don't do that sort of thing. You can live
let your oldest daughter teach you.
You can live your life without sarcasm. You don't have to. Everything doesn't have to be filtered through sarcasm. This is my favorite part of the process. I probably never told you guys how much I enjoy this. This is my favorite part of the process by far.
He says sarcastically.
He says sarcastically. I can't believe you'd accuse me of sarcasm. I resent the implication.
Melissa, she guesses she can't comment anymore then.
You'll notice when we talk about stuff like that, like it's okay. So like the kids will come home and the cookies will all be gone and they will accuse me of eating all the cookies. And my response will be, I can't believe you would accuse me of such a thing. I resent the implication after all I've done for you. I can't believe you have any idea the changes I put my body through just to give you life. I can't believe that you would imply that I would I'm just aghast and appalled at the idea that you would suggest such a thing. But you know what I didn't do? Is I didn't deny it. Did not deny it. At no point did I lie about it. You said you didn't eat him. I did not say that. That is not at all what I said. I said I was aghast and appalled at the implication. I said that it was sad that you would accuse me of such a thing after all the love and energy I've given to you and your endeavors. But I did not say that I didn't eat them. Did not say that at all. Okay, that's a mess. It won't take much to fix, but it looks like a mess right now. Let me dry it so that the shading will stay where the shading stays. Dance, painter boy, dance. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some really light blue. I'm going to have to switch to a smaller brush. I'm not really ready to go to the smaller brushes yet, but I'm going to take some really light blue. Because if you want to make things really white, add a hint of blue to it. So I'm going to take some really light blue. I'm going to go over those legs. And we'll go back and make the background super dark so that the legs really stand out. But for now, I just want to add a little color to them. All of the things that we're going to make white, I just want to add just a little bit of blue too. And then before I go any further, I'm going to add just a little bit of vermilion to those eyes so I don't lose where they are. Because this gets really sketchy like this. And so I want to make sure those things stay where they are. Let me dry that, then we'll drive on. feel like I need a white crayon though. I don't know if I still have a white crayon. What is this? Is this a white crayon? Or is this is a white crayon? I tell you what, let's do. Let's go. Let's preserve some edges here. We use a little bit of watercolor resist and preserve some edges. So that when we come in hot here in a minute, we won't completely lose them. You know, maybe that'll work. I can't tell. We'll see. We shall see. So we'll start with a little ochre. You know, to me, the real joy of getting the set of isopods on this show, we don't talk about the science and nature and history and all that other stuff. But on the morning show, we give all the details about the history and the science and all that stuff. And if I have the models, then I can do that. Then I can throw it out there and I can talk about all the stuff that we're not going to talk about tonight, because we don't do that on this show. But I can most certainly talk about it in the mornings if I have a set for the morning show.
Will you ask Pamela if she painted her last herb today?
Was she painting? Pamela, did you paint your last herb today? Can you not get into the chat?
No, she's working on her mother's portrait again.
Yeah. So
she said we have to go through you to talk to her.
Oh, gotcha. She needs to hear it. She can't read the chat.
Right. So we'll see. She's working on that again. But tomorrow's when she's supposed to start frogs.
I may join her on the frog thing. That sounds like a good time.
31 days in May, that'd be 31 frogs.
Oh no.
Woe is me.
Could I paint 31 frogs? I'm not even sure I could paint 31 frogs. Where would I find 31 frogs to paint?
Therein lies one of the problems.
I would not have any problems finding frogs to paint. First off, I have a whole set of models of frogs. Second, I follow so many frogs on Instagram, it's ridiculous.
I'd be doing a snake tonight because she didn't have a roly-poly.
You know, there's been times I've logged into your show on Fridays and I can't figure out, you're still going through your colors. Like that one day you were going through your pencils and stuff, and I was like, okay, but I have a limited lunchtime. What can I do? And I said, well, I'll just do colored pencils. You're doing colored pencils. I'll just do colored pencils. And I had so much fun doing that. You do you, boo. I am just happy that you are here arting along with us.
Ivy's doing a session tomorrow on your pencils and everything.
On my pencils?
What you have to take on the type of pencils you use for adult coloring and how to take care of them, how to sharpen them where you don't break the point. She's got a whole program set out.
Sweet. I'll be there for part of that. I get to watch during my lunch hour.
Pamela said she said, oh my gosh, I got distracted by Jonathan's animals and I've been doing the paint along so well, so I'm blaming him. But I am starting frogs.
Got distracted by my animals?
Yeah.
How did I get the blame for this?
It's your bits.
You're not supposed to take sides against me. You're my mother.
I don't know you.
I can't.
So my mother always said to me.
I resent the implication.
My mom and dad always said they'd take George's side of anything because they raised me.
I resent the implication. I can't believe you would accuse me.
Well, no, we go way back. I have to.
Yeah. You and I, we have history.
What'd you do?
It's your nose.
The Isopod?
It is.
Emma says you got lots of Froggo and Unsplash.
Yeah. Unsplash did not have a lot of isopods, which shocked me.
And Ivy says she's completely nervous about tomorrow.
Why?
I have to find a snake and nectar today.
Why? I've seen your show. I've seen you talk to your crowd. Loves you. You have nothing to fear. Your crowd absolutely loves you. You have nothing to fear. And why wouldn't they love you?
That's right.
You're just a fantastic person. Why wouldn't they love you? All right. Time to switch to some smaller brushes. We're going to come in with some ochre, but we're going to come in with just a little bit stronger ochre with a smaller brush.
That doesn't count.
What doesn't count?
Emma did the dark frog on the morning that you did one. That doesn't count for her May. She has to redo it.
Oh, yeah, Pamela. You haven't started your challenge yet, so it doesn't count. Until the official start of the challenge. So here's what I think we've discovered about the easels. When I'm broadcasting from my phone to share with the screen, and I'm talking to my mom at the same time, I think that's what's stopping us from being able to download the easels. So I managed to download last week's easels before the show, and I downloaded anything that I saw from this morning. But if I get new easels before we get to the easels, I may not be able to download them. But at least we figured out what was causing it. Why it was an issue. Anyway, I was talking to Claudia a minute ago. Claudia was talking about how creepy these things are. Claudia, have you seen the colorful ones? Did you see any of the really bright colored ones? Because some of these things have yellows and blues in them like you would not believe, and they're just gorgeous. Yeah, they have the creepy little golem faces, but some of them are really just quite lovely. And that's what attracted me to the set that I'm going to buy. Is the different hues and stuff. The set that I'm going to buy has all of the various colors of the various species of isopod that they handle. There was something else. Oh, I came across a stag beetle set. That's going to be fun. The only problem is that then I buy them and my randomogrifier is sitting over here empty. I have a big tub full of toys that need to be put back in the randomogrifier. And the randomogrifier needs repairs done to it, and so I'm having issues not getting to the repairs that the randomogrifier needs, because instead of working it so that I go back to the randomogrifier, I am just finding ways to add to the randomogrifier without making the repairs that it needs. Which is not necessarily the best way to go about that. Can't talk, Harding. Do. No, I don't want the ochre. I think that green was actually doing something for us there. Let's stick with the green. But let's get this darker green for the bottom. I like seeing how far I can go with the big brushes. When you go to if you move to the smaller brushes, by the time you move to the smaller brushes, your painting's done. When you feel like you're ready to add the little details with the smaller brushes, once you do the smaller brushes, your painting is done. There's no room left for any further changes or advancement. So I like to see just exactly how far I can go with the big brushes before I switch to the smaller brushes. Let me dry that so that stays where it's supposed to be. My biggest problem is I want to ink it. We'll save that. We'll save that for the next iteration here after 8. But that's my biggest problem right now is that I want to ink it. I'm gonna mix up a little burnt umber and some Payne's gray and get a really warm dark here. And it's gonna be just like I'm inking it. It'll work out just like ink, except because I'm using a brush, I can have more strokes and make it more artisanal. Painterly. The word we're looking for is painterly. If you want to make something lighter, make everything around it darker. Do. What else is going on? Ivy, have you seen your kittens? Who else do we have? We have Pamela, we have Ivy, we have Claudia. Is she still awake? It's like 2 o'clock in the morning for Claudia, though.
Yeah,
Jamie.
Claudia, Jamie, Ivy, and Pamela.
Jamie, how's Johnny doing?
Huh?
I was asking Jamie how Johnny's doing.
No kitten sighting.
I thought that was funny when you were talking about your kittens, and I said, yes, I'll just do kittens. Last Friday. Can't talk. Harding. I don't do this often. This is new for me because it's not ink, and I want to treat it like ink, but I can be more painterly because it's a brush.
He has a mean face.
Well, it's because you're used to things like that eating you. Oh my God, that spider the other day, I swear to God, that spider was on me the entire flipping day. I cannot stress all day long. So the other morning when I'm sitting here at the art bench and a little spider comes speckling across the table here, and I tried to shoo it off the camera so that it wouldn't irritate us on the camera, and the thing launched at me, and it hit my leg and it fell off, and I assume it fell off because I never saw it again. But for the whole rest of the day, I was tormented by that spider. I swear the thing was crawling around inside my helmet. The whole rest of the day, that thing tormented me. I cannot, and I mean, it was inside my helmet. It was crawling underneath my slacks at work. You talk about ruining a day. Anyway. That thing, I kid you not, that thing was with me the whole rest of the day.
Kept you moving.
What's that?
It kept you moving.
It sure enough did. You know, it's not the first time something like that has happened to me. My helmet, when I wear my helmet, you know, sometimes I get stray beard hairs going crazy inside my helmet. And intellectually, I know they're just stray beard hairs. Why is my camera so messed up? How is the
vertical's just messed up.
That shouldn't be that far over. Did I just move my book that far over while I was working? The vertical is just messed up. But it's crazy because the you know, intellectually, what's wrong?
Nothing.
Intellectually, I know that it's just my beard. But you know, there's thousands of years of instinct there that tells you it's a bug crawling on you. Thousands and thousands of years of instinct that tells you it's a bug. I quit paying attention to the color scheme. I'm just playing with colors now.
You know, you have a lot of those interesting things happen to you when you ride a motorcycle.
Like what?
Oh, you know, just little things happen to you all the time. Like, you remember the night that or the morning you're on your way to work, your headlight kept going out?
I love that story.
And, you know, now the whiskers in your helmet.
So I used to carry a tool bag tied to my forks Look at how the vertical is so far off of where it's supposed to be. I used
to know what's going on.
I used to have a tool bag hanging off my front forks, and one day I was going to work, and I've probably already given away the story. One day I was going to work, and I'm cruising down the highway, and I'm doing upwards of the speed limit. And we won't really get into how far upwards of the speed limit I was going, but I was going pretty fast, and all of a sudden everything just went dark. It's middle of the night. Everything just went dark. There's got to be a way to fix that. Everything just went black. Give me a second there on the horizontal. I'm fixing things for the vertical people. But everything just went black while I was riding, and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm terrified because now I'm out in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden I have no headlamp. And I'm fighting with this, and I stop, and when I stop, my headlamp comes back on. I can't figure out. Now that's just weird. That's just weird. My headlamp came back on when I stopped, and so I start going again, and sure enough, I get up to speed, and my headlamp cuts back off. And I'm like, what's going on with this? Why am I riding in the dark? What's going on with this? And so I pull back over, and my headlamp comes back on, and I can see again. And I'm just confused. I'm confuddled. And then this time I'm pulling over and I'm watching, and my tool bag, the flap on my tool bag, had going down the road at 90 miles an hour, and when it opened, it covered my headlamp. And as I slowed down, it came back down. And so my tool bag had come unsnapped.
Made you slow down.
No, it didn't. It made me snap my tool bag. That goes back to what we were talking about earlier when my wife and kids accuse me of something, and I don't deny it. I just say I resent the implication, and all that other stuff. I'll be cruising along on my motorcycle, and I have Bluetooth in my helmet, and we have Stalker app on our phone, and my wife can see how fast I'm going, and she will call me, and she will say, "Why are you going 110 miles an hour?" And I'm like, "Baby, I'm just keeping up with traffic. I don't know what you're talking about." And she says, "I can see where you are. There's no traffic where you are. You're in the middle of Riesel. There's no traffic out there. That's the middle of nowhere." And I'm like, "What? I'm going through a tunnel." "There's no tunnels out there either." And she starts getting on to me, and she's like, "I can't believe you would go 100 and something miles an hour on your motorcycle." What? I resent the implication. How would you? I can't believe you would accuse me of such a thing. That's whack. I can't even imagine why. That is so wrong of you to even accuse me of such a thing. But I don't really deny it.
I'll tell you what's whack is the vertical.
Is it messed up again?
It's doing its own thing out here. I don't know what it's doing.
I think I fixed it finally. I zoomed out.
Well, I don't see you painting.
Well, that's because I was painting over here, and now I'm coming over here. There's a lag. My daughter is stealing my. My daughter says she's stealing my Isopod painting.
I'm gonna have a
What is she painting?
She says she's going to steal my Isopod painting.
Oh.
I'm a seed.
She likes the Isopods.
I love them.
if you
If you
don't want
really
to be,
like the new ones you're getting.
if you don't want to see what's on camera, you don't want to be seen on camera. You're going to have to go put some clothes or something on because
You're making it sound like I'm naked. I'm in my pajamas.
the camera is rotating, so I can't really.
Oh, no. I thought you were about to use clip button. When this series is done, I'm stealing the ones I want. And I'm gonna make a spot for them on my wall.
Is the series ever really going to be done?
Well, I don't know. Whenever you decide to swap up how you're gonna do the Thursday night shows, I'm just gonna take my pick.
I kind of like how we do the Thursday night shows where it's just whatever I feel like painting that night, and we talk about just whatever we feel like talking about.
Did you tell her what the next ones are?
What's that?
Did you tell her what the next ones you're going to do?
What do you mean?
What you ordered?
Oh,
The beetles.
I haven't ordered them yet,
Oh.
but I found some stag beetles.
Is there a Hercules beetle?
Yes, there is one of them. Yeah.
I'm going to let you know right now that will never make it. The second that it arrives, it will be going in either my room or the basement.
No.
Yes.
No.
I'm so sorry.
See, it's just whack.
What I really need to get what I need to get is moths.
You think I need some moths?
Yes, I think moth. I think you need a rosy maple moth and a polyphemus moth, specifically so that they can go in my pocket and then you can have one. I just need a little pink and metal bug. Maybe that's what I want for my birthday. Daddy, can you make me a moth for my birthday?
Poof! You're a moth.
Not like that. Paint me a moth. To go on a little card so I can go on.
I don't know. Your birthday's a long ways off.
No, it's not. It's like 2 months away.
I think I'm calling this one. I do think he needs more red and purple in his eyes.
I think he needs glitter.
Yeah, I'm gonna call this one. I could sit here and fuss with this, and fuss with this, and fuss with this, but I think I like where it is now. I think it's a good place to stop. Let me dry it real quick, and then we'll take the tape off. Normally my yellows are very transparent, but I mixed a little gouache with them this time, and so because of that, my yellows are a bit opaque, and that makes it easier to paint yellow on top of stuff. I don't have to hold off to the end. I don't have to paint the yellows first. So I was able to do my signature in a nice little ochre shade there. I bought some gouache paints. I haven't painted with them yet. I need to. I like watching James Gurney did the Dinotopia series, and I like watching his videos where he goes out on location and he paints with gouache, because he just goes everywhere and just sketches, just does little random landscapes throughout the countryside and throughout town. He'll just pick an interesting angle from a building and paint. And the way he does it with the gouache, I'm usually very impressed with how he does that. So I have fantasies about trying gouache and getting some experience with it. That's probably a good use for these Thursday night streams. So there's my deep sea isopod. I'm trying to move it around so that they can see it on the vertical, because for some reason the vertical just won't center on me tonight. So there's that. I tell you what, let's do. It's 8 o'clock. Let's take a little break, a little 5-minute break. It'll give me a chance to check my email and download any. Ooh, subtle hint. It'll give me a chance to check my email and see if there's any more easels. Which way do I have to go to be on camera now? And it'll give me a chance to figure out what's going on with all. I doubt that I'm able to fix this tonight, so we'll just have to kind of live with me doing stuff like this to stay on camera tonight. I can probably take that and move that over like that, and then you can see Bob. But we'll take a little break. Everybody go freshen your drink, and I'm going to check the email for easels, and then when we come back, we'll do that. So we'll be right back.
Raindrops are falling on my head, just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed. Nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. So I just did me some talking to the sun, and I said I didn't like the way he got things done, sleeping on the job. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. All over Paris, the city awakes to the bells of Notre Dame. The fisherman fishes, the baker man bakes to the bells of Notre Dame. To the big bells as loud as thunder, to the little bells as a song. And some say the soul of the city's the toll of the bells of Notre Dame. Dig, if you will, the picture of you and I engaged in a kiss. Sweat of the body covers me. Can you, my darling, can you picture a dream if you can? A courtyard An ocean of violets in bloom. Animals strike curious poses. They feel the heat between me and how can you just leave me standing alone in a world that's so cold? Well, it's so cold. Maybe, oh, my father, you know, is always too bold. Well, maybe you're just like my mother. She's never satisfied. Why do we scream? Why? This is what it sounds like when doves cry.
Uh-oh. What day is it? Who can tell me what day it is?
I wish you could see her face.
What day is it? Mom. What day is it? What day is it? Come on, I know you can hear me. Don't pretend you can't hear me. Mom. What day is it? Mom. Missy.
Don't say I love you.
What day is it? Missy. What day is it? Come on, Missy. Come on. What day is it? What day is it? Little girl. What day? Come on, tell me, what day is it? What day is it? Thursday! Woohoo! Thursday! The artistic backer will make you happier than a Norse god on Thursday.
I hope you know that this has nothing to do with you. It's personal. Myself and I, we've got some straightening out to do. And I'm gonna miss you like a child misses that blanket. But I've got to get a move on with my life. It's time to be a big girl now. And big girls don't cry. Look at what's happened to me. I can't believe it myself. Suddenly I'm up on top of the world. It should have been somebody else. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could be so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me.
Friends, have you ever wanted to be able to draw or paint better? Have you ever thought, I wish I could draw a cat? Well, friends, think no more, for I have just the product you're looking for. That's right, friends. This magic product secret that I've given you for free today is all you will ever need to be the next Andy Warhol or Pablo Picasso or even Leonardo da Vinci. All you need to be a great artist is just a little bit of practice. Why, friend, if you just use practice for a few minutes every day, there's no limit to the things you might accomplish. With just 10 minutes of practice, your cat can go from looking like this to this. And friends, if you have tried, practiced, and witnessed its power firsthand, please consider going to theartisticbiker.com and clicking that donate button. Every penny you donate will go to help someone less fortunate learn about the power of practice. And keep remembering to tune to the Artistic Biker Live every Thursday night from 6 to 8 Central Time at artisticbiker.com/Ustream. That's the letter U, stream.
Alrighty. That was abrupt, wasn't it? So it hasn't happened yet for you guys. It's still in the lag for you guys. Let's see here. Let me get dun 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 this. And then let's see what happens if we go. The screen's going to go black for just a second while I switch to my phone. There we go. There we go. Okay, so last week, Pamela sent in her herbs, and we couldn't show them to you, but she did an entire month of herbs. And so there's some sorrel, and if you can't tell, she makes notes around the drawings like I do in the mornings. Why is that switching? That is not supposed to switch right now. Right now we are focused on the phone. But she does. She did. I don't think this has to do with herbs, but it's a neat little drawing. And then primrose. Good botanical drawings because she's not only showing the plant and the flower, but she's showing the seeds, the dried leaves, what they look like under medicinal. She's showing the dried flowers. She's showing all of the different features like you would do in a botanical drawing. If you were going to press the flowers, you would press all of those things so that you could see it, and you would make notes just like this in your flower press. It's just lovely. Myrtle.
That was her North Star design.
Her North Star design?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was a North Star. It just wasn't a herb. It wasn't an herb.
No, but it was Pamela's. She just sent it in.
It wasn't an herb. Yes, it was, and it was lovely, Pamela. I'm not criticizing it. I'm laughing because it's not a herb. I'm actually laughing at me saying herb. Here's her drawing frogs with complete anatomical annotations. More frogs. So that's what Pamela sent last week. Claudia sent. We did a Kent snail, and Claudia went and had snails in her garden, and so she took pictures of the snails in her garden to send to Pamela, so Pamela could paint them. And then Claudia also has this painting on her easel. And then snails in their natural habitat. Greetings from the Netherlands. Dun, dun, dun. And then Pamela sent another this week of a frog. A dart frog, acorn sized. Anything but metric. And then Ivy sent in, this is Ivy's palette. This is her watercolor palette that she uses when she does watercolors. It's very similar to mine. And then here's a snake that she did. It looks like she did it with watercolors. And then we had, it went away. Everything went away. Other, take the files off there. I had from Rick, I had a couple from Rick. Rick did dun 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 an African lion. He sketched along with me, following the photo prompt that I provided for the show, and he sketched a lion along with us while I was arting on the show. And then he sent today, or yesterday rather, a Kent snail. And then Pamela sent a snail also, but I think she sent it on Facebook. Let's see if I can find where Pamela tagged me. Let's see here. On Facebook. Avert your eyes, there might be porn. I follow a lot of pinup models on my artistic biker page. Okay, so here was my snail. Here is Pamela's snail. And that was the first one. And then she embellished it. And then I took my snail, and I think the safest place to do this is in the text messages to my mother. I took the snail. Oh, hey, yeah, Pamela did a lion also. This was Pamela's lion. She did in watercolors. So I took my snail and I made a coloring sheet out of it. So what I think I might do, and then I took the orchid that I drew this morning and made a coloring sheet out of it.
That's done with the granulation watercolors.
Yes. That lion was done with the granulation watercolors. But I took the orchid that I drew this morning and I turned it into this coloring sheet, along with the challenge to find the nine pollinators hiding in the canopy. And what I think I might do with those, and I'm kicking this idea around. Maybe you guys can tell me what you think about the idea. What I think I might do is I think that I might create a mailing list, a newsletter. If you would like those drawings, those coloring pages sent to you in an email, I will set you up and you will get a daily dose of those. You'll get one of those every day, or you can sign up for a weekly dose of them. And then what I intend to do with the subscribers, you can subscribe to the newsletter. I haven't set it up yet, so we're just fantasizing about this right now. You guys let me know what you think about it. What we'll do is anybody who wants to subscribe to the newsletter can get one of those fed to them every day. But if you want access to all of them, I'll put them on the download site, and if you're a subscriber, you can have access to that. That'll be your $5 a month subscription will buy you access to all the coloring sheets, all the 9 fun facts, all the lesson plans that I've developed for these things, everything, all the notes and everything, plus private chat. So we'll set that up. I'm not sure if I want to go that way. I'm putting feelers out to see if there's interest in such things. So if you guys are interested in stuff like that, let me know. So that said, that's what was on your easel. That was what was on my easel. If you would like to be a part of what's on your easel, simply send your photos into blade@artisticbiker.com with easel in the subject line, and I will use your works to inspire other people, because that's what this whole show is all about, is to inspire people to express their creativity. So many people are wanting to express their creativity and looking for an outlet to express their creativity, but they're afraid to put their creativity out there for people. And so when normal people, I'm not a professional artist. I'm a clerk. I'm a methods manager. When normal people put their works out there for exposure, good or bad, it gives permission to everybody else to express their creativity, and it allows everybody a sense of community. We're never going to make fun of you here, and if anybody does make fun of you here, we're going to kick them. So it's that simple. That said, guys, it's time for us to move on. Send your easels to blade@artisticbiker.com with easel in the subject line. We'll use your works to inspire other people's works, because that's what we're all about, is spreading the love and spreading the creativity. And so let's move on to our next Isopod. This one's actually a Roly Poly. So we'll actually do a Roly Poly this time. I need this book over here where we did the angelfish last time. And we can turn the page and get started. I have to be careful because some of these sketchbooks have nudes and stuff in them, and I have to be careful because I'm trying to use up all the blank pages. But I don't want to expose anybody's sensibilities. Look at what's happened to the. Hang on. What if I just moved over here? I don't want to expose anybody's sensibilities. I'm kind of like Darwin's daughter, going out and burning all the mushrooms, making sure that nobody gets exposed to the evils of my pinups. Though I did go to Bombshells last Saturday. Bombshells is a Hooters type restaurant where the waitresses are scantily clad, and it's a sports bar. I did go to Bombshells last Saturday, and after I got done doing all of my web work that I needed to do for the show, I broke out my sketchbook and did a quick pinup. And that felt good because I haven't done a pinup in a very long time, and it kind of felt good to do that, get a little bit back to my roots. My figure drawing sessions that I used to go to became cumbersome. His wife is ill, and he can't really do them as frequently as he did, and I just can't seem to get started with a figure drawing group nearby, and so the pinups are about all I have to work with for figure drawing. My fantasy is to have a place where I can host figure drawing sessions. What I'd really like to have, though, is all you can art Friday nights. I really miss the all you can art Fridays. When I had my studio in Oklahoma, I would put a still life out, and I would provide pencils and watercolors and crayons, colored pencils, crayons, and acrylics, and an apron, and some everything student grade, and I would provide it, and you could come in for $10 and have all you can art Fridays. And we would just put the music on, and we would just art. If anybody had any questions, everybody was available to help. If anybody had any questions, if it was something I could help with, I would help with it. If it was something that there was somebody else there that was better at it, they would help with it. It was a very, very, very fun scene, and I miss that. And one day I hope to be able to do that again. But I also want to host a figure drawing set. Who are we talking about who's awesome? I've seen his stuff. Whiskey?
Yes.
Whiskey? Doesn't Whiskey have a YouTube page also? A YouTube channel also? It seems like I remember Whiskey Creek having a YouTube page where he colors also.
He said he does Revolutionary War reenacting and model railroad HO scale.
Yeah, we talked about your railroads, Whiskey, because my dad used to run the. My dad used to be one of the moderators on one of the train station, and my dad's in the chat if he's awake. My dad's in the chat. He used to
Bangor, Maine.
Bangor, Maine.
Michigan.
Michigan. Bangor, Michigan. He would watch the. He would moderate the chat. They had a webcam on the train station in Bangor, Michigan, and they knew the train schedule, and they would all sit and wait for the trains to come out.
That was Amtrak.
So yeah, if you're into trains, you and my dad will get along just fine.
It's pretty funny. The people from the local community would ride Amtrak into Chicago, and they would turn and wave at the camera because they knew they were watching.
You know, I just remember when I was a kid, I would go out. Anytime I heard the train, I would run outside Granny's house, and we would walk, and we would count the cars.
Every time I took Boy 2 home in the evenings, we had to go by the depot until Mr. Caboose could not.
I loved counting the cars. And then girl 2 would wake up from her nap and have to go outside and see the trains.
I hated that 3 o'clock train.
When they came by Granny's house out in the sticks.
She could hear that train whistle 20 miles away.
It always came at nap time. We'd be trying to put the kids down for a nap, and the train would come, and the kids would just squeal. Do. What do you do on your YouTube channel if you don't color? I know you said you're a Civil War reenactor and you do model trains. Is that what you do on your channel? Is your trains? It seems like I've been to your channel. I'm drawing a blank, and you'll have to forgive me. I have the memory of a goldfish. I've never been here before. What's this? A castle. I've almost quit looking at the drawing at this point. I'm just drawing from memory and imagination. I probably need to focus more on the drawing, but at this point I'm just having fun. This is more like drawing mech than drawing a bug. It's like I'm drawing a tank. Oh yeah. The farming in real life, Farming Simulator 25, and some reenacting stuff and some train stuff. That Farming Simulator 25. That, I've never played, but I like to watch Ivy do stuff with it, especially when she gets her tractor up on 2 wheels or she balances it up on the roof of the thing. You're not supposed to be able to do that, but she figures out how to do that kind of stuff. I used to play Sims, and I think Jamie used to play Sims. Yeah, Jamie Jamie Lynn used to play Sims also. And I love those kind of simulator games like that, when you get to control the universe. You don't like somebody, you just take their ladder out of their pool. You can make people you don't like on purpose, and you can take their ladder out of their pool. Bully me. I'll teach you. I'll take your ladder out of your pool. I'll take all the doors out of your house. Lock you in a room with no bathroom. That vertical side is still too big. So I'm going to shrink it down a little bit so that they can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I need to preserve some spots here. We're going to try and preserve that spot, and that spot, and that spot, that spot, that spot, that spot, and that spot, and that spot. And then we can get back to my favorite part, which is the shading. I have probably never told you guys how much I enjoy the shading part of this, but I feel like we've known each other long enough now that I can share my feelings about this, about just exactly how much I absolutely love the shading part, because that is the part that turns it from a line drawing to a dimensional drawing. It is my favorite part of the whole process. What?
Emma said it's the spoke louse or something else.
This is a Roly Poly.
Yeah, it's a Roly Poly.
They look like lice, though, don't they? Kind of. Or at least this one does.
We'll have to bring Roly Poly on the show and show it.
I'm going to buy the Isopods. I'm not bringing a live Roly. I'm not going to bring a real one. Well, no. His are printed. His are 3D printed, so they roll up.
Really?
Yeah. That was one of the things that attracted me to it. Let me dry this real quick. Then we can come back with some vermilion. I lied to you. I said I was going to come back with some vermilion. I should probably do the shadow underneath before I do the vermilion. We're going to come back with the vermilion. If you have a warm light, you have a cool shadow. And so I don't want any vermilion or ochre or anything in this shadow because there's a warm light on my bug. There we go. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Ivy, that similar thing happened to me. My first wife ran off with my best friend, and I miss him. Well, I missed him for a long time. I don't anymore, but I did miss him at the time. Now my aim is so much better. I'm gonna take this vermilion, and I'm gonna go around the edges real light. And I'm just gonna warm up the edges of the bug. Got into my highlight. Got to remember that there's supposed to be some highlights preserved there.
He wanted to bring her back.
He did want to bring her. Oh my goodness, we're not going to get into that. We're not going to talk about. We're not going to talk about that. But he sure enough did want to bring her back. Wow. I'm so much better off than I was.
Excellent.
Oh, wild hair on my brush. Oh good, it fell off in the paint. That's handy. Alright. Now we're going to dry that. Ah, look how beautiful that is. I love that so much. I wouldn't have to do anything else. I could put that on a t-shirt and I would just be happy. Let me dry it real quick. I think we'll start doing. I think we'll start doing this anyway. Pamela says, "Take a picture for the T-shirt." I think we'll start doing this anyway, where we stop and we take a picture halfway through, so that we can just so that we can. That's not what I wanted to do at all. Just so that we can have something to. What, did I delete the picture? I didn't mean to delete the picture. No, there's the picture. Edit. I'm going to crop into the picture.
T-shirt?
Maybe. Let's see. How do I make that square up? This one? Like that. And then this one. Like that. And then let's go back to crop. And we'll just crop in on him. And save. Increase resolution. And then you can see him. If the camera ever switches back like it's supposed to, you can see him like that. I just think that's gorgeous. Anyway, now we're going to ruin it. We'll go back to our regularly scheduled Isopod painting. Because now I'm going to come in with some ochre. So I'm going to start doing that also. Ivy does a thing, a tradition on her stream, where she's teaching people that, you know, people think they don't have time to color, they don't have time to do art, and she's got these really complicated coloring books that she's showing. You can color even the most complicated scenes just 10 minutes at a time. And so every time there's a train, she elicits a response from the crowd to pick a color, and they pick a color, vermilion, and she takes a vermilion pencil out, and for 10 minutes she goes over to that really complicated coloring page. The one she's been working on has been like a steampunk train, a Zentangle type train, and she colors for 10 minutes with that particular color. And I think I'm going to adopt that too. So every time we hear a train here in the studio, I'm going to stop, and I'm just going to use that one color for 10 minutes. Why are you laughing?
Maybe a siren.
Because I don't live anywhere near railroad tracks. There's no trains. There's no trains. That's what she's laughing about. I was hoping she'd say something, but I don't live anywhere near railroad tracks. But I could do it with a siren. Let me dry this real quick, and then we'll come back with some. We'll come back with the last layer of color, and then we'll ink it. I don't think that I live across the street from a firehouse and from a police station, But honestly, I don't think the fire trucks come by often enough to justify a challenge like that.
You're not home during the day.
Right. And in the early morning hours and in the late evening hours, we just really don't get that much traffic.
That's because they call them out from the one around the corner from me.
That may be the case.
Because every time, I want to say it's the fire trucks. When they go out, my dog bays. Grandma said she'd never get anything done. Lots of trains.
Well, that's the way it was where we grew up. But here, there's just not that much. There's not that much noise. You know, you'd think there'd be more noise here, and there are quite a few sirens. I don't want you to get the wrong impression. There are quite a few sirens, but it's really not that bad where we are. What color should the background be? Should I do a background color? He's kind of bluish, which means he should have an orange kind of background color. But I also painted him kind of warm, so that may blend in. That may blend in too well. But if I don't put a background color, the white highlights won't stand out. Now I think because the bottom is orange, we might switch to more of a lavender. We might let that lavender blend right in with that vermilion on the edges, and then come in with lavender under here. And that'll let the highlights really stand out, just really pop. It'll keep our shadows cool, and it'll keep our light warm. Again, we can just let it blend right up into that vermilion on the edge, like so. Can't talk. Arting. All right. Let me dry that and then we'll ink it. So my shirts that I ordered are not going to be here. I ordered one shirt as a sample, and I was hoping it would be here tomorrow for Happy Friday, but it's not going to make it for tomorrow. And so hopefully it'll be here by next Friday for sure. It says that it's in transit on a truck, and I think that it's actually in country. And so I'm hoping that I will have it. I know that I will not have it in time for tomorrow, but I'm hoping that I will have it in time for next Friday at least, which is okay because tomorrow is the 1st of May, which means it is the Friday before Cinco de Mayo, and I have a Hawaiian shirt with dinosaurs eating tacos. So I think I'd rather wear that in celebration of Cinco de Mayo anyway.
It'd be great if your workers would bring tamales.
You know, the worker that had his mother made those tamales doesn't work for us anymore. And I sent him a text message.
I'm so sorry.
And I sent him a text message the other day. He started a lawn service company. But I sent him a text message the other day. You know, how are we supposed to get your mother's delicious tamales now if you are not here to deliver them? And he didn't respond. I think that was... But he may have just been busy and forgot. Who knows?
Yeah. Those guys are busy. The lawn guys.
This time of year for sure. Because it's raining enough to make the lawns grow insufferably. I haven't looked at the picture of the bug in, I don't know, 20 minutes. Who knows if I'm even close to accurate. Technically, this is not a bug. In order to be a bug, it has to have a proboscis, and this doesn't have a proboscis. But this isn't that kind of show.
No, you just use those big words on it.
I can't help myself. I'm a biologist at heart. I am a Renaissance man. I will never stop learning and tearing things apart to see how they work and trying new things. Never. All right. I don't know why I think it's funny whenever the camera lands on my face to freeze like that. I just, to me, that's hilarious. It may not be funny to anybody but me, but I just think it's hilarious. Let's see. What is today? Today is the 30th. It's the 30th of April. I started right the 30th of May. So there is my Isopod. There is my finished Isopod, my finished illustrated Isopod, and my watercolor Isopod. And there they are together. Can't really see them because of the way the cameras are. I can go to overhead wide and you would be able to see them better. There we go. One's a deep sea Isopod, one's a Roly Poly. So that's what I did tonight. Tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. Texas time, if you're up, we're going to be sketching this little sequoia tree. It's the tallest tree. I think it's the tallest tree in the world. They made this one's tiny, tiny, tiny. We're going to sketch this one tomorrow morning. We're going to talk about we'll talk about how they need fire to reproduce. We'll talk about how tall they actually grow, how they carve tunnels through them so people can drive through them. They're really just that big. So we'll have a lot of fun things to talk about while I sketch this little fire starter tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. Texas time. So you may want to click your notification bell so you don't miss that. But guys, that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. I do look forward to this every day and every week, every morning at 5:30 a.m. Texas time, and every Thursday night at 7. I do look forward to arting with my besties. It is truly the highlight of my day. Pamela, Claudia, Ivy, Whiskey Creek Farms. Rick was here was Rick here for a little while, or did we just talk about Rick because Pamela was here? What'd you say, Mom?
I just said we just talked about it.
Jamie was here. Whiskey Creek was here. Pamela, Ivy, Claudia. Yeah, we just talked about Rick. We miss him when he's not here because he adds so much humor to the conversation. He's such a great guy. But guys, thank you so much for joining me. I do look forward to it every week. Be sure and tune in next week. Same Artistic Biker time, same Artistic Biker channel. And we dance. We dance until somebody says they see me dancing, because when they see me dancing, I will know that the lag has caught up with the stream and I won't get cut off mid-sentence. I will know that you have had your chances to say hello and goodbye to each other, as well as ask each other questions. It gives you a chance to click the clicky thingies this way if you're on the horizontal and this way if you're on the vertical. But the absolute most important thing is